Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Uh-oh. I'm missing. On the wrong screen. Oh, I'm over here. Okay, we got it. Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
hello.
I feel like the production value is going down every week. Like we're getting
Well,
worse.
we're a bit out of practice, so that's what
Yeah.
I'm gonna chalk it up to.
Had no intro music, just kind of firing from the hip. And,
Beautiful.
I was trying to get the stream up, and then my kids were in the office with me. And anyway,
It's just one of those types of Fridays, you know.
wow. Say
Yeah,
what?
is that a quick lunch I saw you getting in? I guess it's I
That's,
guess it's a little early for lunch.
that's breakfast, buddy.
I know.
10:30.
My brain was still thinking it's 1 o'clock, which is when we normally do this. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Had a little egg on toast,
mm. Little coffee cheers.
Hmm. Little POE pregame with our coffee. Buddy, I had.
You got a little Bailey's in there.
That's a nice little treat, by the way.
You ever drink Bailey's from a shoe?
What a weird video. So it's Friday. Hello to our friends who are either watching this live or is going to watch it later. We haven't been able to do a stream in a couple of Fridays because of the Thanksgiving holiday. And all that to say, first of all, my friend, you couldn't join on our CR discussion. Unfortunately, Jeremy had to be there. How are you?
Yeah, I saw you guys, I saw the awkward tension at the table, but I'm glad you guys were able to put, that aside and just get the work done.
That's normally always there, but
Yeah.
yeah, you were just
True.
seeing it. You were just seeing it on the other side.
Right.
You're like, is this what it feels like?
Yeah. I was like, ooh.
Yeah. Man.
But yeah, dude, not only have we not done this in a few weeks, but it just feels like forever just with the way things have hashed out with Worlds Beyond and me missing the most recent Critical Role. It feels like it's been an eternity since
Yeah.
we've sat down. So it's
Yeah.
good to be back in the chair.
How are you feeling, by the way?
I feel good. It was really just like I think I told you this, but I ate some leftover Wingstop and
Yeah.
that decided to get its revenge on me. But so it wasn't like it was like a 1 day situation.
I gotcha. How when we say leftover, like how leftover are we talking?
It was
here?
only like the next day, but I still think it was a mistake.
Yeah.
So like, it wasn't I don't know what it was.
I
Maybe
feel
that
like-
wasn't even maybe that wasn't even what did it to me, but
I feel like when you get into like your late 30s, like the things that you could just eat away, which would never have bothered you, like suddenly it's like, oh, I had too delicious a meal, so my body said no. But
the like gallon of ranch probably didn't help either. But
dude, I had a Wingstop craving the other day, and I got on their website because I was like, dude, what would this cost me? And then I quickly left the web. They're pretty pricey, man.
Yeah, the only reason I did it is because so we don't use like the delivery apps really anymore just because it is so expensive. But they got me because they sent me like a 2 weeks free of like the whatever. And on top of that, it was 70% off. So which it basically has to be to make it like a reasonable price once you factor in the fees. But so like I got it for like $20 delivered. So I was like, yeah, I'm in.
Well, that's what I was gonna say was I think the only time I ever buy Wingstop are when they have like those big deals with them. So Wingstop's pretty good though. I like Wingstop. I mean, I say that not having eaten there in 4 years, so their French fries are good.
It's definitely a rarer occurrence for me these days. But I feel like we've had this conversation I think before, but I feel like back in the day it was like so good. And now it's only like okay.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of restaurants, honestly.
Yeah.
Like a lot of chains that you're kind of like, were you as good as I remember? Or I think like Wendy's is a great example of that for me. Like I remember in high school going to Wendy's. I mean, like, I love this place. And then I went there this last summer because we were like traveling, and I was just like, I don't know. I don't know about this.
Yeah, it is weird. Like, cause inevitably it's like them cutting costs. I think that's definitely a factor. But then like also I wonder if it's just like nostalgia and like life was simpler then, and the
Yeah.
the spicy chicken sandwich just hit different in a way that it can't now. But maybe it's
Yeah.
a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Yeah. I don't really want to have like a thorough evaluation of my life this early in the morning, though. I think you're onto something, though.
Yeah. Do you remember? Well, not to keep hounding on this, but you remember what used to be really good, and then I haven't had one in like since high school probably, but it was that Burger
Quiznos.
King.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
Quiznos too though.
Oh,
Quiznos
okay.
too though. But that Burger King chicken sandwich, do you remember?
I don't.
I forgot what it was called,
I
but
remember they
it
had
was
like their chicken fingers were like very finger-esque, is what I do remember.
the yeah, the chicken fries. Is that what you
That's what
mean?
I'm thinking of. Yes. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had those.
Yeah. I'm not a big
But
BK
yeah,
guy, though.
I'm not either.
I feel like it's a
Except for
reach.
that one chicken sandwich for like that one period in high school, I felt like it was
Yeah.
built different.
I feel like
But
it's
yeah,
a.
Quiznos too. That was a
Well,
big one.
I was going to say, I think it's a regional thing for BK because the one in our town, whenever I drive by it, the one on MLK, I
Mhm.
never see anyone there.
Yeah.
And, but then I've talked to other people who are like, oh, I love going to BK. And you can know the really serious people where they're like, oh, yeah, dude, the BK lounge? Yeah, man. And I'm like, you're using that a little bit too, like, casually.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you've been paid to try to bring up the BK stocks or something. But I have to assume it's something like that.
Yeah.
Because we have
That makes
people,
sense.
in the Discord too who talked about how much they love either Popeyes or KFC. I think it was Popeyes, and I wonder if that's a regional thing too. Because I feel like around here, you don't hear a lot of people who are like, "Oh yeah, let's go to Popeyes."
Yeah. That's true. It's probably because we're like in the chicken like capital, feels like.
Yeah.
So but yeah, when they first put out that sandwich, that was really good.
First experience was not good. Second experience was great
Mm,
because I think they were swamped. So
yeah.
anyway, well, now that we're thoroughly, I was thinking, by the way, about swag for the channel and like what some t-shirt designs would be.
Yeah.
And one that I have in mind, I have two actually that I'm working on,
Yeah.
and I'll go ahead and just spoil it because it's probably never going to happen. So I might as well just get it out there like The Witcher. The two that I have that I'm working on, one of them is a shirt that says, that's a deep lore drop or something like that.
Yeah.
And the second one is, Pixelus, just awkward coffee talk, like something like that. Like coffee and
That would be perfect.
awkwardness or something.
Yeah.
So I haven't really worked it out yet, but those are two
Yeah,
things.
like coffee, awkwardness, some D&D maybe.
Yeah. And then I started thinking, like, would someone feel sorry for us enough to actually buy this shirt from us? And then I thought, well, maybe I would proudly wear it at least. So,
That doesn't have to be the only reason.
yeah.
It doesn't have to be only out of self-pity.
Yeah.
Or not self-pity, whatever.
Yeah. So,
I'd wear it.
yeah. You'd have to because you're my best friend. So,
Right.
you didn't. I'd be like, where's
Part
that
of
shirt?
the contractual obligation.
Where's that shirt I got you? Like, speaking of shirts, AGDQ next month. I'm all about.
Bro, I was just having that thought because December, holidays, and one thing, I'm not like I'm about to launch into like an overly long tangent for no reason. I like the holidays. Like I like getting into the Christmas spirit, but I'm not like one of
where
those
we
crazy
go? You
people.
love villains. You hate Christmas. Like, what has happened to you, man?
No,
Like,
I like Christmas.
what's going on?
The point I'm building to that I'm belaboring here is that after Christmas, it's always a little sad because it's like, oh, it's all over now.
Yeah.
Anyway, to bring us back here, one of the things I always get excited about is, well, at least, GDQ is like the next week. So I always have that. And anyway, I was just having that thought the other day that like, oh, GDQ is getting close.
Yeah.
So have they put out like the schedule already? Or?
Actually, I was just looking at that. Let me double check here. It's on the 5th, so we are under 1 month now. The schedule. Yes, it is.
Dang.
Ooh. Some good ones on here. I won't spoil it, but for you guys, I love some of these bonus games. Let's go. For you guys who don't know what AGDQ is, basically just think of like your favorite video games you loved playing growing up, and then some of the modern games, and then people basically playing it as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was gonna say something. Oh, about Christmas though. Let me throw something at you. This might be a little too wild. I don't know.
Hit me.
You don't, for Christmas, you have Christmas Day, and then it all ends, whatever.
Yeah.
Not to be like the obnoxious person who like, we just never take our Christmas tree down. But I've been told that, I don't know if it was Germany or where, but that their holiday starts on Christmas and goes through January.
Oh.
So, maybe I'm feeling a little German this holiday. Maybe I
Yeah.
keep the Christmas tree up for a couple of weeks. I don't know. Maybe we
I
have
can
some
get
hot
behind that.
cocoa in January. So
I can get behind that. I'm definitely not the type that takes it down. Like some people take it down Christmas Day, like
yeah.
after they've opened their gifts and stuff.
My dad, we were opening gifts last Christmas, and my dad was taking the tree down, and my mom literally was like, "Do you think we could wait till tomorrow? Like, the presents are all right here."
Yeah.
So yeah, I got a thing to say about people who they take it down ASAP. But on the same token, you guys, you know who you are. Those of you who are putting up your decorations before Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
hang on,
That's a bit extreme. That's a bit
something's going
extreme.
on. There's a neighbor on near my street who theirs were up before Halloween.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a bit much.
Which the way someone explained it to me was, well, maybe they use because it did look professional, and they're like, well, maybe they use a professional service, and maybe they got like a special deal, which, in this economy, I get it.
Yeah.
But if it was just
it's a very generous,
yeah,
it's a very generous interpretation, but yeah.
My life's just a series of coping, which is different things. So, well, I feel like we should probably talk about Critical Role at some point on this show today.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Did you make it past the break? Because it was an early break last night.
So I had a weird situation last night where I had something came up like right when Critical Role started, so I missed the first half, which was basically just the first hour. But I hopped in and I asked, I was like, is it okay for me to just jump in? And I don't know what happened in the first hour still, but I think it was, I don't know if it was combat or what, but people told me it was cool to just jump in. So I watched like the middle of the episode. So I didn't see the first hour and I didn't see like the final hour and a half.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think that's a fair assessment of the first half. Well, first up to break.
Yeah. Did you watch the whole thing?
I have about an hour left. I ran out of steam and I was starting to get worried because I knew I had to be up early. And then I was thinking I was probably going to stay up late for PoE tonight.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I don't know. And then I have this D&D one shot tomorrow night. And so I'm like, dude, I got to not wither away over here.
Yeah. That's where I was at too. Cause I was also like needing to get up early today to prep.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I cashed out a little early. So yeah, I need to watch the start and the end of last night's episode.
Yeah. It's been fun having I only watched like the first 8 episodes, I think, of campaign 2. Mighty Nine has there's a fun vibe there.
Yeah.
Beth and Bo, the betting back and forth.
Yeah.
It's a nice little I don't know, there's just something about this group that's a little it's a different kind of chaos than Bell's Hells, because I would describe Bell's Hells as kind of chaotic too. This one feels a little bit more unhinged and zany, I guess, not in a bad way, in a fun way. So anyway, which makes sense, I guess, because Jester, draws dicks everywhere and stuff like that. But
yep, yeah, I would totally agree that it's been cool. Obviously I've seen all of the campaigns, but getting these immediate snapshots of back to back of the different groups, it's been really cool to see just how different the vibes are. Which I mean, I think if you asked anybody, they'd say, oh yeah, like Vox Machina compared to Mighty Nine compared to Bell's Hells are all completely different. But actually, like seeing the cast embody that in real time, it's been fun to kind of like a time capsule almost to kind of like go back to that vibe. So I like that, that even having not seen too much of the campaign, you can feel that as well.
Yeah,
it's been good to be back with the 9.
We've said it before, so I don't want to like belabor it too much, but I'm getting more and more sad at the potential end to this campaign.
Yeah.
It's kind of a wild feeling. And we have D&D. One of my campaigns is D&D on the 19th, I think, which, yeah, is a couple of Thursdays from now. And I don't know how many episodes there are. But so we scheduled it, but I said, hey, I typically don't do Thursdays because I have Critical Role, but it was like the only day we could do before the break.
Yeah.
And I was like, but hey, if this is looking like the last episode of the campaign, like I'm not going to be able to, I'm not
Yeah.
going to be able to go. I mean, I'm going to have to watch D&D or watch Critical Role, but
Yeah.
I
I love it.
don't think it's over in 2 episodes, but it totally could be. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it could be over in like the next episode. I don't know. Our campaign finales, are they typically a long episode?
The last one it was the longest episode ever. I'm trying to remember if like Downfall or Calamity beat it,
Hmm.
but I don't think it did. I think it's still it was like 7+ hours.
Okay, because Calamity, I
Um,
think, was 6 or 7. Yeah.
but it was also, but the campaign one finale wasn't that long. And so it was also kind of a product of the pandemic because that was when they were recording remote and
Hmm.
doing all of that. So I do feel like that influenced it somewhat because it was like, I don't know. Long story short is I could see it going either way. Like cuz they're not constrained by all the pandemic stuff this time around. So they theoretically could like be, instead of doing an 8-hour episode, doing 2 4, you know. Even if they sat down and recorded it all at once, maybe they would nah, they wouldn't split it up, but
Hmm.
anyways, yeah, I would expect a longer episode at least. Maybe not 7 hours though.
Yeah. Man.
But yeah, bro, it's it's like when you finish a good book or a good TV show with 7 seasons, it's just it hurts when it's over. And I feel like this one might, well, I won't say this necessarily, but it could have that sting even more so if this is like a curtain call for Exandria. Not that it is, campaign 4 might take place in Exandria, might, keep on keeping on, but at least has the potential to be like a real book closing on the whole trilogy type of feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that would be very depressing if so.
Yeah. It's a weird feeling. It's been a fun,
Bittersweet.
yeah, it's been a fun 3 years.
Yeah.
Crazy that we have done this together too for that long.
I know. Really is.
Yeah.
And
We get,
crazy that we haven't, well, aside from like me missing this most recent one and a couple of times where one of us has sat out, we
yeah.
haven't missed an episode
True. Yes,
like
that's true, actually.
in total, which is, I saw the entirety of campaign 1 and 2, but never week to week, you know?
Yeah.
Like it would be like, okay, maybe I went 2 months and then I got to binge a bunch. So this is
Ah.
my first campaign that like I literally was current every single week. Um,
I think we talked about this when it happened, but I do think in retrospect, the Team Asilra and Team Wildmount, I think those kinds of arcs are better appreciated when you binge watch it and you're not so
yeah,
in the social media of it all.
right.
Because probably my least favorite thing about this campaign has been the endless criticisms
Yeah.
about some of the most like mundane things.
Yes.
But I think that's also like a symptom. I feel like Reddit in general is so much worse today than it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a symptom of that. Another example of that would be Path of Exile. I saw some threads about people being really upset because they released the Ascendancy classes, which are, for those who've never played Path of Exile, they're like subclasses. They're like hero classes for your class you choose. And some of them are like very obviously powerful. And there were a couple of threads about, oh, this is so broken. Like, how could they release it this way? It's like some really like, and then, anytime there's like a criticism, and then you have people like White Knighting who are like, hey, go easy on GGG. And I'm like, why is this even a conversation? Like,
Yeah.
this is like the dumbest thing to go back and forth on. But as I was thinking about it, I was like, I guess that really is just Reddit. There's just so much just earnest opinionating that happens, I guess. But
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Feels like
Well,
just the culture these days.
yes. Yes, actually. And I love that you said that too, because I do think culture today is so what's your stance or what's your take?
Mm,
And I'm just getting so
yeah.
much more comfortable in being like, I don't know and I do not care. And I think on a lighter conversation about this certain data point comes up every now and then in the Bible Belt on how old the earth is. And I think I told you this conversation I had with someone who was like, well, the age of the earth is, and it was like some whatever. And they're like, what do you think about that? And I was like, I don't really care. And they were like, well, you have to care. It's how old the earth is. And I go, I don't though. It doesn't matter to me. I think it's probably 40 million or whatever the number is, but I literally do not care. And it
Yeah.
does not bother me that you think otherwise. I literally do not. So, but I don't know. I'm trying to get more comfortable with that while also like some other things that are like grossly like gross injustices also being
Right.
comfortable being like, that's not okay. So
Yeah.
anyway, maybe I'm just putting my
Yeah.
toes in
No,
both
it's
sides
it's
of
a
the
weird
pool
it's a
or
weird kind of tightrope in that regard
yeah. Yeah.
today, because like there's some things that you just can't give brain space to because they're like not worth your time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like
Yeah.
there's stuff that is very important. So,
Yeah.
it's just yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. And I think what I hate also, this isn't like really worth the podcast being mentioned on the podcast, but I hate also how like sometimes you get criticized for not having like pronounced enough of a thought. So like a great example would be the Israel and Gaza Palestine conversation where
Yeah.
someone's like, "What's your take on it?" And I've noticed like so many people are like experts on like history and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I might say something like, man, I really don't know all the details, but what I will say is I do not stand for like the loss of innocent life, innocent civilians being killed. Every life is precious. And like saying, which I think is a very like anyone could agree with kind of statement, which
Right.
is how I genuinely
Right.
feel. And then, I had someone the other day who was like, which side are you on then? And I was like, what's wrong with you, man? Like, so I'm just, and that's probably like a downer of a story point for the conversation of today's podcast, but it's all in my thinking of like, I just have these opinions and I'd like to have them without being someone trying to loop me into their worldview, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, a dose of realism for our conversation, I guess.
We had to catch up since we missed a few weeks. We had
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
pack as much emotional baggage into this one as
Yes.
possible.
So, pulling it back as we wrap up today, what are you playing in Path of Exile today?
Bro, I still don't know. I
Bro,
haven't looked.
this is on
So
brand,
I think
though.
I'm just gonna go with my initial vibe of the Ranger.
Ooh.
Was that a bad ooh?
No,
Like
I'm just kidding.
Ranger sucks?
No. I don't think any of them are going to suck. I mean, you have the whole tree and they've changed
Yeah.
unless the skill planner is wrong, they've changed it where you don't start in different spots, everyone starts in the middle.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, unless
Is it
the
different? So so like we literally all start from the same spot, or there's like a central spot and it's slightly different?
no, all from the same spot. Is the skill
So
tree
what's the
that
point?
you have the different subclasses, different ascendancies.
So that's really all it comes down to is what
Yeah.
your ascendancy options
Yeah.
are?
Which, I'm mixed on it. I think to make the game a little bit more casual friendly, it's nice to not like pepper it across the skill tree. But on the same
Yeah.
token, I did really like the different starting points on the tree.
So do you even pick a class at the start, or does that
You do.
choice happen when you ascend?
No, you pick a class at the start, yeah.
Okay.
And again, this is just
That-
based on the skill tree that was sent me. It could be that was like a working skill tree and we don't know what the actual one looks like.
yeah.
And once we actually get into it, we realize, oh no, we are literally all over the.
Interesting.
So
What are you gonna do? Mercenary?
I think mercenary. Yeah, I'm excited to try mercenary.
I'm assuming there's gonna be a queue,
Yeah.
or at the very least, some technical difficulties. So my plan is to probably like watch some videos while I'm sitting in queue and make a game time decision.
Yeah.
But if nothing else, Ranger, because I feel like
Yeah.
bow sounds fun for me right now.
All right.
Mercenary is like the FPS one, right?
Yeah. But
Or
which
maybe the FPS isn't
I
the.
mean,
I guess it would
yeah.
be TPS, third person shooter.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I mean, you can play the same way with the Ranger. I just think of the
Yeah.
difference being the Ranger is going to be a bit more agile and quick versus the Mercenary, which is going to be more of like slower firing, heavy hitter, think shotgun, grenades, that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah. Well, I'm excited, man.
me too.
I hope
Yeah.
my computer can handle it.
I hope
Is it
so
supposed to
too.
be
Yeah.
like intensive?
I don't know, but Path of Exile's never been known for its optimization. So,
Yeah.
probably worth being worried about.
Yeah. True.
Anyway, I think that'll do it for today, though. For those of you who watched our stream today, thanks so much. Don't forget we have a Discord where you can join the conversation on Critical Role, Worlds Beyond, what have you, and even Path of Exile as well. We got a games channel on there amongst our sea of channels,
Yeah.
our endless channels.
I want to encourage you to keep it up because I'm loving it, and you're an expert, and I would appreciate all of your insights, and I'm sure many others would as well.
And Will's referring to our Pixelist Gaming. I meant a Discord channel to talk about games.
Oh.
But Will's talking about our Pixelist Gaming channel with the old 10 strong subscribers. So me and those 10, we're, probably people who subscribed years ago and forgot. But anyway, but that's pretty much it. So appreciate you all today, and we'll catch you later.
Yeah. Bye, guys.